Hi guys, welcome to MELTS, Media Education Learning Simpler, where we sail through all your academic worries from the field of media and communications. Let us proceed with today's discussion. Hi, today we are talking about media research, and the topic that we are discussing is research process. Research is not a simple process. It takes a lot of time to turn the idea germinating in one's mind into a scientifically proven, detailed research work. The ideation itself takes days, and it is best suited that a researcher follows a guided, step-by-step procedure in order to produce the most effective work. Starting from the scratch, it takes a journey of 12 steps in order to complete a research task. These steps help ensure the quality of the research work and guide a researcher in the best possible manner so that there is minimum scope of error. Some of these concepts may seem technical for now, but will seem easier once we dive deeper into them individually. For now, let us focus on the cumulative process. The first step is to formulate the research problem. At the very outset, the researcher must single out the problem he wants to study. That is, he or she must decide the general area of interest and aspect of a subject matter that he or she would like to inquire into. Initially, it may be stated in a broad, general manner and may be streamlined later. The second step is extensive literature survey. Once the problem is formulated, a brief summary of it should be written down. At this juncture, the researcher should carry out what is called a literature survey in order to understand the problem in a much easier manner. Academic journals, conference proceedings, government reports, books, etc. must be tapped into depending upon the nature of the problem and should be briefly summarized. After extensive literature survey, the researcher should state in clear terms what is his or her working hypothesis. A hypothesis is the statement that we are trying to prove true. It is a tentative assumption made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. The researcher would now be required to prepare a research design. That is, he or she will have to state the conceptual structure within which the research would be conducted. The preparation of such a design facilitates research to be as efficient as possible, yielding maximum results. In other words, the function of research design is to provide ways for the collection of relevant evidence with minimal expenditure or effort, time, or money. The fifth step is determining the sample design. One needs to ascertain a part of the population under study as sample. The researcher must decide the way of selecting a sample, or what is popularly known as the sample design. It is a definite plan determined before any data are actually collected for obtaining a sample from the given population. The sixth step in this process is collecting the data. In dealing with any real-life problem, it is often found that data at hand are inadequate, and hence it becomes necessary to collect data that are appropriate. There are several ways of collecting the appropriate data, which differ considerably in the context of cost, time, and other resources at the disposal of the researcher. There can be different manners in which a researcher decides to collect data, and it depends clearly on the type of study he or she is undertaking. The next step is execution of the project. The researcher should see that the project is executed in a systematic manner and in time. For example, if a survey is to be conducted by means of a structured online questionnaire, data can be readily digital. In such a situation, questions as well as the possible answers may be easily coded and analyzed later. The next step is analysis of data. After the data have been collected, the researcher turns to the task of analyzing them. The analysis of data requires a number of closely related operations such as establishment of categories, the application of these categories to raw data, and then drawing statistical inferences. Now, the next step in the process is testing the hypothesis. After analyzing the data as stated before, the researcher is in a position to test the hypothesis. Do the facts support the hypothesis, or they happen to be contrary? This is the usual question which should be answered at this stage. There are various tests such as chi-square test, t-test and f-test which have been developed by statisticians for this purpose. The 10th step in this regard is generalizations and interpretation. If a hypothesis is tested and upheld, it may be possible for the researcher to arrive at generalizations. That is, he or she can now build a theory. As a matter of fact, the real value of a research lies in its ability to make generalizations. The penultimate step is to prepare a report. Finally, the researcher has to prepare the report of what has been done by him or her. Writing of report must be done with great care, with strict adherence to the prescribed format. And the last step in this regard is presentation of the results and findings. The researcher, having completed the job of preparing the report, is now expected to create a presentation explaining the hypothesis, research methodology, findings and conclusion in a simple, understandable manner so that the inferences drawn can be easily explained and presented to a wide audience. With this, we come to an end of this video. We will continue studying more about research in the forthcoming videos. Thank you. So that was all for today. I hope you liked this video. Do share it with friends who you think may benefit from this. If you have any doubts or suggestions, do reach out to me in the comment section or on the FB page. Hope to see you soon with the next discussion. Thank you.